Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Beautifully Aligned podcast, the podcast for the woman who wants to live her most beautifully aligned life, find your purpose, live out your deepest desires. Today's topic is so exciting because it's like a marriage of my personal interests kind of merging, but also what my brand is all about. And that is the merging of style and beauty and wellness with self-development. And today's episode is the perfect encapsulation of that. So we're talking about style values. So last week I talked about values and how to find your values. And if you watch my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that I did a color analysis. I did talk about it here on the podcast as well, but I did like a deep dive video. If you want to watch that, I will link it in the show notes. And that brought forth so much thought for me. I was already thinking about my style values before I did that, but that brought forward so much for me as far as living out my personal style values after I had the color analysis done. And if you're wondering what that is, watch that video. But briefly, a color analysis is where you find out what your wow colors are. So from your clothes, your makeup, even hair color, jewelry, metal colors, whatever really suits you best. And then you can go and find those items that really just encapsulate who you are and show off your God-given beauty. And that experience for me was so life-changing, life-altering. I talked about it in that video, but it just made such a big difference. And it really solidified my style values. And I'm going to tell you what some of my style values are to maybe get your train of thought going on what your style values might be. I have always been a girl's girl. I've always been into beauty. I've always been into fashion since I can remember. I had that game where I think it's called Pretty Pretty Princess. As a little girl, I was obsessed. I liked to wear all of the big sparkly jewelry pieces in that game. Nothing has changed since I played that game. I still love all of the sparkly things, jewelry. I love fashion. And my style could be described as feminine with an edge, I guess you could say. And I like to change it up too. I don't like to put myself in a box, and you might not either. But that is my personal style if I had to describe it. But what I'm going to get into today applies to everyone as far as how to go about actually figuring out what your personal style values are, and then how to incorporate them as you are getting dressed, how you're shopping, how maybe you're getting rid of things in your closet. So that's what this episode is all about today. It's going to be fun. So grab a coffee, grab a glass of wine, depending on when you are listening to this episode or watching, if you're watching on YouTube. It's just going to be fun. So I'm going to share with you how to start diving in to figuring out what your values are and specifically identifying those values around style. So this is absolutely a self-discovery process. And in coaching, I have a whole system for self-discovery. Just aside from style, we can absolutely incorporate it into style, but it is a self-discovery process. So this is kind of where the style meets self-development comes together. Really, this whole episode is kind of a marriage of the two, like I said. But what you want to do first in discovering your style values is do some reflection. Maybe you want to think about it. Maybe you want to journal about it. I really like to journal. It helps me to just write out my thoughts, my feelings, and it's really an enlightening process. Sometimes you'll be surprised if you just go into it with an open mind and just write, and you'll be really surprised at what comes out. So what I did was just sat down. I didn't give myself any prompts. I just started writing about the pieces that I liked, what words came to mind when I was thinking about my own style, and just go from there. So self-reflection is huge when you're starting to discover what your style values are. And maybe some of those core values, we talked about core values last week, will come out through your journaling, and then you can then apply it to your style values. So do some self-reflection, and then in that, kind of the next step, you can absolutely journal this, but you'll know, is think about your lifestyle. So are you going into an office 5 days a week? Are you a stay-at-home mom and you're with your kids? What is your lifestyle like? And that is a huge factor in the pieces that you're going to be wearing. I'm going to give you a lifestyle example of dressing that did not at all work, where those like daily activities and what I was buying were clashing, just because maybe this is happening for you or has happened in the past. So about 5 years ago is when I noticed I was doing this, and I was very aware of it. So I was working in an office 5 years ago, and my clothes should have probably been more on the like 9 to 5 office wear wardrobe, but they were not. Instead, I was buying what I was just really naturally drawn to, like the things that I would see out and I'm like, oh, I'm getting that. And it was like frilly dresses, going out pieces, or like sexier pieces too, which I'm not going to wear to the office or wouldn't wear to the office. So just these really feminine, fancy, that is like one of my words, like buzzwords for style is I love fancy, I love fun. Anyway, so I was going for those things, and I was also working 5 days in an office. So if you think about it, that didn't work because my closet or my wardrobe was completely out of balance. It was like 90% of my closet was these fancy pieces. And then 10% was my activewear and my office clothes, which wasn't much. So what I was doing was I was wearing like the same 3 tops and the same couple of bottoms or dresses every single week, just rotating them, which is fine, but it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough variety for me. And the office pieces that I was choosing were so boring and not me. And in part, like we could go really psychological and deep here. It was probably because, well, I know it's not probably, it was because I wanted to not be in the office. I wanted to not be there. I didn't like it. And I talked about that too. Either it was last episode or the one before that. It was not fun for me to be shopping for office clothes because I freaking hated going into the office. Instead, I wanted to buy these fun pieces because I wanted to be having fun. I wanted to be fancy. I wanted to be girly. So that was the whole thing. That problem has since been solved. But back then I did make that realization, and I was like, okay, we're not going to buy all of the frilly, sexy, fun, fancy pieces because they're just going to be sitting there going to waste. We're going to buy cute office stuff. So I did make an effort, but not that big of an effort. So eventually my closet became more balanced, but that's just an example of really identifying your lifestyle in relation to your wardrobe. So think about it. If, say, you stay at home with your kids and you're taking them out to activities, you're not going into an office, but all of your clothes are slacks and button-ups. Maybe that's not comfortable for your lifestyle. Maybe you want to be wearing like an elevated pair of leggings and a cute top that goes with those leggings and some dad sneakers. I'm just giving you an example. So really thinking about your lifestyle and what's going to also make you feel confident. So adding that element, which we'll get to in a minute as far as values go, because you can apply these words and then buzzwords that you'll come up with to the pieces that you're shopping for. So that is lifestyle. And what I just want to slip in here between these tips, or really first, is to do a color analysis. And I know I mentioned it at the beginning of this video, but if I had to give you like a number one tip, it would be to do color analysis, because it will save you so much time. It will save you so much money if you know your colors. So you're not just necessarily following trends or what color is in style this season. You will know your God-given colors and what makes you really pop. So do a color analysis, and then all of this will just come so much easier for you. So now that we've slipped that little tip in, the next step is to create a style inspiration board. I personally like to use Pinterest for this. So what you're going to do is just kind of let yourself dream. You can use keywords to search certain things if you want to. If you already have Pinterest, they usually suggest what they think you want to see. So if you're looking at fashion stuff, they'll probably show you outfits or pieces that you're already drawn to, and you can start just pinning the ones that you really love to a particular board. So call it whatever you want, like your name style board or bad bitch style board. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Create basically an inspiration board or like a vision board for your style. And Pinterest is such a fabulous way to do this. And from there, you'll be able to kind of start thinking about your values as well. So on this inspiration board, you could be pinning certain pieces, you could be pinning certain colors, certain patterns that you're drawn to. Like, it doesn't have to be just all outfits. I draw inspiration myself from so many different places. So it could be a certain pattern that I'm really drawn to, or a place. And so it all kind of just ties together. If you're like, I don't even know where to start, think about somebody's style that you look up to, like a celebrity whose photo is probably on Pinterest already. Type that person's name and then outfits, and you will start seeing some ideas. So start pinning their outfits that you really love. And then from there, Pinterest will start showing you similar pieces and similar outfits. It's that algorithm that they know you want to see these certain pieces and looks. So search a celebrity's name if you're just like totally stumped, or search edgy style, feminine, boho, if you kind of have an idea of what you already like, or maybe it's a certain brand that you like, you could search that brand outfits. And then from there, Pinterest will start populating results that hopefully you really like. So pin all those ideas to one board, and then after you're done, of course, keep adding to it if you want to, but you'll notice a common theme in that style board. So I mentioned buzzwords a couple of times. So what you want to do is look at that style inspiration board that you've just created, that beautiful board that is so you. And I want you to pull out the buzzwords or keywords, whatever you want to call them, that are coming to you as you're looking at that board. So maybe it's glam, maybe it's edgy, maybe it's boho. Pick out those words, write them down, or file them in your mind, because those words are going to help you as you are shopping. Now into values. So what you want to do is, once you have those keywords, as far as how you're dressing, you want to consider your wardrobe in regards to your values in terms of your self-expression. How do you want to express yourself? And when you're looking at your style inspiration board and looking at those keywords, do those buzzwords align with how you want to express yourself? Because how you express yourself is then how you are seen by others. It's just what it is. People are going to have their perceptions, maybe judgments about you based on your own self-expression. And not that their opinion really matters, but I'm just giving you context for your own self-expression and how you really want to be viewed. How do you want people to view you? So think about your values in terms of self-expression. Think about your comfort. What makes you comfortable? Maybe you're not comfortable having your shoulders exposed. So when you're shopping for pieces, you're going to look for something that's not off the shoulder. That's just an example. But think about your comfort. Everyone has a different comfort level with different things. And we could be talking about comfort in the literal sense, but also just mentally, emotionally comfortable with certain items. So you don't want to be buying something like I was talking about before, where I was buying these like girly dresses that I wasn't going to be comfortable wearing into an office. Maybe someone else would, and that's great. But for me, that wouldn't make me comfortable. So self-expression, comfort, what's going to then bring you confidence? So think about your values as far as your confidence level. Also, cultural significance. So if there is something cultural that is important you wear or don't wear, think about that as well when you're thinking about your personal style values. I'm going to share 4 of my personal style values with you because maybe you align with these too. Maybe these will give you some ideas to start jogging your memory as far as what your personal style values are. Okay, so the first one is fun. So for me, that means a pop of color, whether it's lipstick, whether it is a pedicure, like toe polish color, or a fun pair of shoes, some embellished detail that's really fun, like fringy rhinestones on my jeans or denim, just fun. So I like to have at least one piece that is really fun in what I'm wearing. That one's huge for me. I don't like a boring outfit. I like it to be fun, fancy, like I said. It needs to have some really interesting element, not weird, but fun. My next style value is creativity, and creativity is actually one of my core values just in regards to everything in life. Most of these values that I'm going to share with you actually are my core values too, but they pertain to style as well. So with creativity, I like to spend time creating pieces, or not pieces, but outfits that are unique to me. And I mentioned fun, so those little details. So I like to find pieces that are fun, different, put different combinations together, and that really helps me tap into my creativity. It's like art, creating art in this really unique outfit or makeup look or manicure, whatever it is. I like to be creative and think outside the box, think differently, just for myself. That is really fun for me. Look, fun and creativity. They're totally playing off each other. I didn't even think about that till I said that. So creativity is a big one for me. Next is sustainability. So this is something that is newer for me, is being more sustainable. I am by no means perfect, but as far as sustainability goes, I do love to find a good vintage piece. So shopping vintage when I can, or secondhand. That's a more sustainable way to shop. I also like to avoid most synthetic fibers. And if you follow me on Instagram, I did some stories. I don't think I saved them, but I'll start saving them as I shop for things that are more sustainable. But I try to avoid polyester, just synthetic fibers because they are not good for your skin, first and foremost, but they're not good for the environment either. And kind of along with sustainability is I have been stopping myself if I see something that an influencer I follow posted something so cute. I stop myself. I don't buy it. I really think about it. Is this my style? Does this fit in with the buzzwords that I have documented for myself? Is this made of materials that I can align with using and wearing? So, thinking about all of these things that I've just talked about in regards to following influencers, that's huge because so many of us follow influencers and we can so appreciate their style and what they're sharing, but they are making money off of it. I just want to say that usually they're making a commission. So, really, just if sustainability is one of your core values around style, just stop yourself and think about it and think about if it aligns with your values. So, sustainability kind of comes along with the influencer territory when you're shopping and just stopping yourself to ask, is this material a material that I want to be putting on my body? Does this flatter me? Is this going to be comfortable? Let me give you another example. So someone posted something a while back that was really cute and I had to have it. And it was a tank top. I got it and my bra was showing on this, like on the side. I'm pointing if you're watching this on YouTube, like kind of under my armpit. I wear a nursing bra most of the time. That's what's comfortable for me. That's what my lifestyle makes sense for me to be wearing. So it wasn't comfortable for me to be showing off my bra. So I returned it. But that's just an example. You have to really stop yourself if you want to align your styles with your values when you are following influencers. So I just wanted to mention that is that just being more thoughtful, more conscious, maybe more sustainable as it is in my case with shopping and wearing clothes. Okay, last style value that I'm going to share with you today that pertains to me is originality. And this kind of goes along with everything else I've talked about. I don't want to look like everyone else. There is a meme, it's a couple years old now, and you've probably seen it if you like fashion, if you like style. And it's a group of bloggers or Instagrammers, and they're in their fall outfits, and they have Uggs on, and black leggings, and like a poncho sweater with their pumpkin spice lattes. And it basically screams basic. And that is like the antithesis of what I want to look like. And it's so easy, again, to fall into that trap of just buying what influencers share. So that's why I wanted to mention that is originality for me is important, and incorporating that creativity and fun into my outfits that are just different and lend to that artistic eye that I have that I want to showcase in my self-expression. So originality for me is the last style value that I wanted to share with you. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that it got your mind going as far as what your style values might be. After you determine what they are, it's time to actually find pieces that align with your values. Maybe it's doing a wardrobe edit and getting rid of the pieces that don't serve you. And your style will evolve. It might evolve with trends. It might evolve with your lifestyle. So it's okay to adapt your style in keeping your values in mind. But as your lifestyle changes, as the seasons change, as you grow and change as a person. So right now, I encourage you to do that wardrobe edit, go through, see what's serving you, see what is not serving you. I have 2 fabulous offers for you today. If you are wanting to discover your personal style core values, how to incorporate them. So I have two offers. The first one is one-on-one. So we'll be working one-on-one to discover what those core style values are. We will find pieces that suit your lifestyle. So it's a super fun combination of style and self-development. And it is 3 sessions. I am offering these 3 sessions in the month of October, and I'll leave all the details for signing up in the show notes or YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. So it's called Style with Purpose. I don't know if I mentioned that. 3 sessions, and we will meet one-on-one. I will also be providing you with your own custom inspo board and pieces to shop. So that is included in the 3 sessions. Second is the Style with Purpose workshop. And this workshop will be live, but it will also be recorded, and you can take everything that happens in the live session if you can't make it to the live session and go through this process on your own. So if you prefer to work on your own and learn about this process on your own, that's totally fine, but it will be live. The bonus of joining live is that there will be a Q&A. So if you want to ask any questions pertaining to your style values, you can do that. And that will be happening in October. I will put the dates in the show notes, the times, all of that stuff, so you can take a look, see if you want to do that. The Style with Purpose one-on-ones, it's more of an intensive. Obviously, it's more personalized. So if you want to go that route, one-to-one, super amazing value too that I'm offering for that. You can go ahead and sign up for that. Or if you want to do more self-paced, the workshop would be fabulous for you. So I will leave all of the info down in the show notes. I will also be linking a discount for the workshop if you want to sign up for that. And with that, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. This was so much fun. I love talking about style. If you know someone who could use this episode, who you think might enjoy it, please send it to them. I would be so grateful. And I would also love it if you enjoyed it, if you would leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. It helps me out. That would be fabulous. And with that, I will talk with you next week. Bye.